Am I the a-hole for refusing to sell the family cabin or buy out my siblings unless they agree to my terms? My mom passed away about 6 months ago. My father passed away a couple years before that. After my dad died, I, 39, am put in a lot of time and effort helping my mom. My 2 younger siblings, 35F and 32M, did not do much of anything to help after my dad's funeral. They are both married and each have 2 kids. I am single and have no kids, so I had the time to help my mom, and I'm grateful for the time that allowed me to have with her. My parents own a cabin on a lake. It was built by my dad's father decades ago. My dad and I spent a few years doing a bunch of renovations. About a decade before he died, we tore a lot of it down to the studs and rebuilt it. My parents had to refinance their mortgage to do the work. Before my mom died, she expressed her desire to leave the cabin to myself and my siblings, split 3 ways. I told her that could cause some issues and be complicated financially. But the cabin was their largest asset and she wanted it to be split amongst the 3 of us. At first, my siblings were happy about the cabin being split between us. Then they realized that my parents still had a mortgage on the property after my mom died, and that property taxes on late property are incredibly expensive. Since all 3 of our names were put on the title and mortgage, we are all legally liable for the mortgage and taxes. And to put it simply, neither of my siblings are in a position to afford it. Nor did my mom have enough money left to pay off the mortgage in a lump sum. My siblings have been pressuring me to sell the property. I straight up refused because I literally have blood, sweat, and tears in that place. They then suggested that I buy them out of their share, so they aren't responsible financially. I was open to the idea until they both said that they want to continue to bring their families there like they always have. I told them that if I buy them out, the cabin is mine, not ours. I told them if they want to bring their families there, they will need to clear it with me first. I would install a security system and change the locks. As soon as the paperwork is signed, I would probably use it as a rental property, and that they couldn't just use it whenever they want. They both got upset and told me I was being selfish and unreasonable. We all have great memories of the cabin as kids, and they want their kids to grow up building the same memories. I told them as long as they clear it with me first, they can use it, but it isn't going to be like it was when my parents owned it, and they just showed up whenever they wanted. They both basically gave the similar versions of, "Won't you think of your nieces and nephews? You're depriving them of amazing memories that we all had together." They think I'm being petty and selfish. Maybe I am, but it's not my fault they can't afford it. I miss my mom, but I wish I could tell her told you so. Am I the a-hole here? Here are the top comments, plus Opie's reply.
Not the a-hole. You aren't saying that they can never use the cabin. You're saying that if you buy them out, then they need to respect the fact that it's your property and they can't use it freely any longer, especially if you plan on using it for a rental property. That's not an unreasonable ask. Besides, if you all put it on the market and sold it to a stranger, they literally would not have any access to the property. So why all the drama from their end of things? They really aren't looking at this logically.
Op replied, logic is not a strong suit for either of them. My sister is definitely a princess type, and my brother is the baby of the family. Has had things gift-wrapped for him his entire life.
I don't understand their objections then. Your proposal seems perfectly reasonable. Of course, they shouldn't have carte blanche usage of a house you 100% own. That's just basic common sense. Duh. Rather than being frustrated, your siblings should be super grateful that you're keeping it in family and letting their kids grow up with their own memories. It's a win-win for everyone.
If I were in the siblings' position, I'd be thrilled. They can't afford to keep the cabin, but by selling it to OP, they get some cash and still keep it in the family. They'll still get to use it when it's available. If they sell it to a stranger, they'll never get to use it again. They're being incredibly unreasonable.